Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the Political Theater, everybody. I hope everybody had a good weekend. It is Monday night, January 5th, and we've got a lot to talk about. If those who have been paying attention, we are on the ground here in Ohio, about to really get busy over in Columbus. For those who have been paying attention to the story that's been going on, we have the Jubba Value Center. Yes, the Jubba Value Center, the best auditor in all the world. It's actually not the Jubba Value Center. It's actually the accountant there. It's actually the little image over to the side, if those who have been paying attention to it. I'll pull that up on the screen for people to be able to see this. But the Jubba Value Center is the listed location on the official audit company that audited, millions of dollars worth of federal tax dollars. So that, everyone knows that that's the most legit version of any auditing company. Is also hosted at the Jubba Value Center. So you got to love that, but it keeps getting better and better. So obviously we're on the ground here out in Ohio. We've got a lot going on. I'm Walter Curt. For those who have not been to this show before, this is the Political Theater. Thank you guys for being here this evening. I've got a couple other people that are going to be joining the show this evening. If you guys are on the X Space, we will have the open up on the X Space here very shortly. If you guys are on any of the other platforms, I appreciate everyone who's been here. To make sure you guys leave a comment for us to read down below. This is going to be a little bit shorter of a show this evening. We're not going to do a full show because we got a lot to do out here in Ohio over the next couple days. We've got people out here so that we can actually go out and expose some of this fraud. So before we do anything, though, I want to make sure everyone shares this space out, make sure everyone make sure everybody knows that we are live because we got a lot to go over. So obviously, we're going to start at first with the Jubba Value Center. Some people don't know what this is. Here is the Jubba Value Center, and this is here we go, wrong one. This is the Jubba Value Center here. So this is the listed location given by H&H Barcod, which is the official auditing firm for multiple of the, for those who've been paying attention to what we've been talking about on this show for the past week or so, this investigation has been continuing. So this investigation now, this is the same company that has done the audits for both SERC, which is the Somalian Education Resource Center, and the MAC Community Enrichment Services in Minnesota. Now, we got a couple of notes here, other than the fact that it's Jubba, which is just hysterical. You can't make it up, really. The Jubba Center, I don't even know what Jubba is. Someone had to explain it to me. Apparently, it's a river in Somalia. Well, I didn't know what Jubba meant, but that doesn't really matter here. But here's the Jubba Value Center, the listed location on this auditing firm. Looks super legit. In fact, I think I might take my taxes there this year. I think that's a good place for me to start. So we're going to go check out the Jubba Center tomorrow. And I got a group of people out here. If you guys have been paying attention, we got Mahek Cook out here that we're working with. We're going to be, Chad Caton's going to be here, and my friends, Opinions Vary, also known as Jay Gatling, is going to be there. So we've got a number of people out here on the ground in Ohio that we're going to be go checking the Value Center out tomorrow. I want to know how much value I get out of my taxes being done at the Jubba Center. It really is important for me to understand that. But apparently it's not the only Jubba in town. So we also have, for those who have been watching here, we also have the Jubba Daycare. So that's right. So here's Jubba Daycare. Now, Jubba Daycare is, it's a beautiful location. You got to love it there. But it also is, I like to point this out because this is important here. It's also a one-star award winner. Yes. They put that on a banner. And I love that it says step up to quality. That's my favorite part. Just what are we doing here? What is happening? The Jubba Center, the Jubba Value Center, the Jubba Daycare. This stuff is ridiculous, people. This stuff is so obviously fake that, I don't know how to even comprehend how how people are getting away with this. But of course, Governor Mike DeWine came out with a press conference, said, "Oh, there's no fraud in Ohio. What are you talking about? Everything. We have great safeguards in place to make sure we don't have any fraud in Ohio." Well, that's going to be put to the test this week, guys. So that's not going to be something I think we're going to agree with or even sort of pretend that we believe anything that Mr. Mike DeWine. For those who know, I'm not a huge fan of Mike DeWeasel. I've always thought he's one of the worst governors in the country. I think he is a useless leader that has failed in every single facet of his administration for years at this point. So very much looking forward to Mike DeWine being gone. So that way we can actually maybe look into some of this fraud, which I just, at this point with DeWine, you got to wonder if it actually goes directly to him. But anyway, guys, make sure you guys share the link out. We got a lot more to talk about here because we're going to get into a video that was released this evening from our friend Mahek Cook, who was on the ground here today in Ohio. And, when she went to one of these Somalian education or Somalian daycare or Somalian healthcare or whatever the hell it is, and it did not go well. So I want to make sure we bring in our friend here, Opinions Vary, and this is Jay Gatling for this Know Who's show. This is the Main Street vs. Wall Street. So make sure we bring him in here. What is happening, Jay? Welcome to the show, buddy.
Walter, how are you? I'm doing all right. getting my second win. I'll be all right. I'm going to make it. I'm going to make it.
It's been a long day. It's been a long day. We got a lot more to do. So, we've got a number of people out here on the ground in Ohio, but this should be a lot of fun for the next couple days. Just trying to actually show what do you think about the Jubba Center? I mean, what do you use the Jubba Center? Would you get your taxes done at the Jubba Center? I think that's where I'd get my taxes done. I think that's the best place to go. What do you think?
Well, if not my taxes, definitely I would take my laptop there because it says computer services. And I think that's where Hunter might have taken the laptop from hell. So I'm going to bring my laptop there tomorrow. How's that? I have it with me.
That's a good idea. I didn't think about that. Now, if the question I really have is, so the people, I want to look at this here. So, the Jubba Value Center, did you see that it also offers Jubba? So it's not just the Jubba Value Center. Jubba offers Jubba. So they offer travel, computer service, and computer services. So they also Jubba, travel, and computer services. What the hell is Jubba? I don't know. Nobody knows. But I guess we're going to find out. I memean, maybe they serve breakfast. I think we'll go have breakfast at Jubba Center tomorrow, and maybe we can ask him what Jubba means. I mean, I'm not entirely sure. Someone explained to me that apparently Jubba is also the traditional Somalian garb, which is, cool. I mean, whatever. I mean, who knows, people? This is so stupid. I mean, it's just unbelievable at this point. But again, this is only the beginning. We haven't even started yet, really. So, we've got a lot to go over in the next couple of days. For those who've been following what we've been doing out here, how this investigation is going to be going. Over the next couple of days, we've got about, 70 businesses to go look at. And they're all associated with these NGOs that we've been talking about that might be fraudulent. So the Jubba Center is just the auditing firm that, it's not even the Jubba Center. It's the H&H Barcode there. And that's that firm, by the way. This is something new. So this came out today after I put this out and someone saw the H&H Barcode Center. They were asking me questions. They said, well, why isn't this firm listed in Minnesota as an auditing firm? I said, well, that's because it's an Ohio firm. Well, this CPA that's messaging me said, well, that's kind of a problem because to do an audit in Minnesota, you would have to have your audit license in Minnesota as well. And it doesn't. So... we've already got all sorts of stuff going on with this stuff, and I just assume we're going to show up there, and there's not going to be an H&H Barcode. Like they're not going to be there. There's no one going to be there. They who? What do you mean? Man, it's just fantastic stuff here. But
so we're not going to find somebody named Harold or Henry Barcode there. We're not going to find an H&H.
No, I don't think so, especially seeing how the owner of H&H Barcode is a guy named Muhammad. So, of course it's Muhammad. Why wouldn't it be? I mean, why are we not surprised by that? I don't think anybody's shocked by that at all. But, it's only going to get better. So I'm looking forward to us figuring out what the next phase of this is. It should be very entertaining. Oh, no, hopefully it didn't lose connection there. It said I was losing connection.
Yeah, Walter, I'm going to go into as a regular.
I think my connection might have just dropped, though, unfortunately. I don't know if I'm still connected on it looks like I'm still connected on the X space, but it looks like I might have lost connection on the show, but we'll see there. But anyway, yeah, you can drop into the regular duty. The space is up and running. For those who are in the X space, make sure you guys share the link out. If you guys are on any of the other platforms, make sure you guys leave a comment, and we will make sure we read it here on the show. And you can always put a comment in the stream, and we can read those as well. So I'm not sure if the show is actually up and running properly right now because it looks like it just dropped the connection on part of this. But we'll see if it's up and running here very shortly. But anyway... So we're going to keep going here anyway, since we're on the X space as well. So the next thing to go into is obviously the video that we have here. Looks like part of it did drop. Yep. Not sure what the problem is here. Well, I don't know what the hell the problem is. It looks like I've lost complete connection with everything. If you guys can hear me on the X space, it looks like X space is still up and running. So I'm going to have to bring people up on the X space. That way people can see this, and then we'll figure out what's going on with the actual live show version. But anyway, so it looks like the next phase of this, I'm going to try and get some more information here on this video. If I can get the internet back up and running on the other side of this, because it looks like we just lost connection on the main show on the live video version. But there we go. There we go. Now we're back. Okay. Yeah, anyway. If you guys are up here on the live space on the show now, though, on the live version of the show, on the X space, you guys are more than welcome to come up here and join us. We're only going to do an hour to this evening, so it's not going to be a full show tonight because we've got a bunch of stuff to do out here in Ohio. But I want to make sure people have an opportunity to come up here and ask questions. They can talk about the H&H Barcode, or they can talk about the Jubba Center. I'm more than happy to talk about any of this stuff. But I just want to make sure everyone is aware of what's going on here. So we've got a bunch more going on this week, and I want to make sure I play this video that I have, because this video is kind of important. And this is Mahek Cook here. So I'm going to go ahead and play this video. This is what came out just a little bit ago. So I'm going to make sure to share this video, and we can talk about this here in a second. Here we go.
Questions about home health care for somebody in their 90s?
We're not ready to answer questions.
Okay. You're not taking patients?
No, we're not taking patients.
Okay. All right.
It's
So
free to go.
okay. Thank you very
Yeah.
much. Hi.
What are you guys doing here?
Asking about home health care services?
Look,
For
you're not
somebody in their
asking, you're
90s?
not asking how much care service.
I
I know
am.
you. I know you.
I don't think you know me.
I know you.
Okay. I'm Mahek.
No, I'm not gonna shake hands
That's
with you.
okay. That's fine.
You can record whatever you want.
Oh, no, we're recording because I was
Because I
assaulted.
know you are just spreading a lot of bunch of BS.
What's the BS?
You're talking about Somalis. I've seen you so many times in Fox News.
I've spoken about the issue in Minnesota, or Minneapolis in particular.
No, listen.
I'm listening.
Listen.
I'm listening.
You are from India. You are not a white person.
I wasn't trying
Listen.
to pretend I was.
Listen. Get out of our house. You're not supposed to be here.
This isn't private property.
This is a
and
private property.
It's not.
It's a private
I'm
property.
knocking on doors to
Look,
ask.
we've got every right to be here.
No, you don't have every right to be here.
We have every right to
Why
be
are you guys
here.
spreading lies?
Wait.
We're not spreading any
Hold on one
lies.
second.
Yeah,
Can I
you
speak?
guys
No, you
not
can't.
supposed to be here.
Because
If you're
because
gonna-
your last name is Cook doesn't mean that you're white. You are from India, and you are just spreading a lot of bunch of BS.
It's not a
Who do you
bunch of
think you are?
BS. Who do you think you
Who
are?
do you think you are?
Who do you think
Who
you
you
are
think
standing
you are,
here
too?
telling me that I can't ask?
Why are you coming to harass us?
We're not coming to harass anyone.
You guys looking for, you guys can go Department of
Listen, who give you this job to do it?
and then you guys can ask them how this
Who give you
operated.
this job to do it? Who has
You have no right to be here. You gotta leave.
We have every right to be here.
No, you don't have
No,
no
you
right.
don't have.
We have every right to be here.
There's no ticket to harass. You said
You are
we
harassing
have
people.
no.
We're not harassing anyone.
You just running around. You just go.
Just knock on the
spread
door.
a
You guys
lot
are
of-
the ones
why-
yelling at
why
us.
are you-
We're
why are you
simply
knocking on the
asking
door?
questions,
Tell
and
me
then
why
you guys
you're
are trying to
not
intimidate us.
You guys are healthcare
You-
company.
you-
What you're doing is wrong. I do.
You guys are trying to intimidate us right now.
You guys came to our office.
said
You guys
you
came to
didn't
our
want
office.
to
No, that's fine. You can ask questions, but who you
You
want
guys
with
are you guys are trying to intimidate us. You're telling us we're not allowed to be
You guys are
here.
ready to intimidate us.
Why are you knocking on the door?
Why do all of you have your phones out right now?
Yeah, because we wondered.
Why do you have to speak on?
For safety, for my own safety.
For our safety too.
No,
That's all
you
we're
can
at.
record it.
You
I
guys have
don't
no right
mind.
to be here. You guys gotta leave
You
right
just
now.
spread a bunch of BS. You need to leave.
You need to leave right now.
Move away.
Those guys
Move away.
They're here to harass
Move
us.
away. Because your last name is Cook, it's not that's why you're white.
Look, we're peacefully here.
These ladies that spread a lot of BS about Somalis.
That's not true, and you know that. No, did you see my last video? Did you see my last video? I actually spoke to a really nice lady from Somalia, and specifically, that's not true.
We're talking about fraud, not Somalis.
No, not at all. No, I actually.
We're talking about fraud.
You guys
No,
not
I'm
go
not talking to you, I'm
Department
talking to
of whoever
You have
issued
you just came the other day and you just
and
pretended to be a
then
white
ask
person.
them how they
Get
deal
away
with
from
this.
here.
We did
Instead, you
actually.
guys can businesses.
No, we
Harassing
actually,
people.
I asked about home health care rates and services.
No,
And just so
no,
you know,
no,
the
no,
last.
Why don't you go there?
No, no,
We
And then
did. We
how
actually
they
spoke to
operate,
somebody. We
how
spoke
they
to
operate,
somebody
how they
here.
do review, how they inspect it. Why don't you go there?
We've done
Instead
both.
you go here.
We've honestly done both. We've actually talked to the agency and then
Then
also
who you
talking
work
to a
for?
couple of healthcare.
Who you
We're
for?
just
Why are you
asking if
spreading these lies?
What's the lie?
Because
spread
of
a lot
you
of
lies, you saying they
I don't know
steal
about
money,
that.
they do this, they do
I
that.
never said you stole
And
money.
nobody steal money. You know,
Nobody
if you
has
miss
said-
one time sheet, you're gonna get
Secondly,
citation,
who
That's-
and you're gonna go.
Yeah, that's accurate.
So then,
But who said
then why you're
you're
not
stealing?
Gonna, because every video you watch on the TikTok, whatever, you there
everywhere.
lying, saying
You
Somali people
No,
never
that's
steal
not
money.
accurate.
No,
You should
you're
look at my
not
last
supposed to do
video.
that.
It's
No, no,
actually
no.
from
You have
a.
a problem with Somalis?
The
That's
last-
up to you.
Somalis,
The
Don't lie to the
last video
Americans.
I posted was a very nice
You're
lady
just
who actually
spreading
walked
hate,
through
you're spreading
daycare
a lot of
system.
lies,
That's not
you spread
true.
a lot of BS.
Well,
and
I think you're
are
unhinged, so I'm not
horrible. You are
taking
an
you. You're
idiot.
respectful.
You are not-
You should go look at the last video about a really nice person who sat down, treated me with respect, and then I explained that this
Then
is
why
a.
you not respecting the community? Then
We
you're saying all
100%
that lies.
have. Where's the lie?
Yeah, you just saying some bullshit that you're not even.
Where's I think you're
review it.
mistaken.
You don't,
We are reviewing
you don't
it.
know how
try
we,
to go into a daycare
like
the other day?
how my
If you
daycare
guys are a
operates.
legitimate business, you should be outraged by the fraud. But instead, you're attacking us because we're calling out
Attacking you.
fraud.
Nobody touched you. Nobody
Oh yeah, sorry, you're attacking my friend. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. You're attacking my friend instead of just me. Okay.
If
There's
you
no lies
investigate
here.
fraud, why don't you go to other people? Why
We're
you go
going
on Somalis?
everywhere.
We
We're
have
going
to go
everywhere.
Everybody. No.
100%.
No. You are profiling Somalis and you're going
That's not
There's
true.
no way.
There's
that your
34
profile-
home healthcare services in this building. Of course, we're going to be in a building with 34 home healthcare
Why don't we
services.
see one video of you guys going to a white business?
Well,
or
because
going to
most of
an
the
Indian
home
business?
healthcare are right
or going
here.
to another business? Why are you going on Somalis? Tell me.
We have not been profiling. There's
You
34
have
here.
been
We've knocked on the
profiling
door of
Somalis.
every
No, 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 no.
34
You have
businesses
been
I don't
here.
know
Somalis,
who
you have
is
been attacking
owned
Somalis
here. We
business.
just
Look,
knocked
your
on the door,
profile,
asked a
you're
couple
attacking her
questions.
for being
One
a
nice
attacking her
lady
because
actually
she
went
attacked
through
Somalis
all
on
the
Fox News.
services and things
She was
like
just,
that.
she went to daycare the
So-
other day. She was trying to go forcefully into a daycare. Do you know the rules of daycare?
We're trying to
You
expose
cannot go
fraud.
into a daycare.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
If you're doing that, you just go to those who give the license and then ask that questions.
Yeah, we
How
have.
they operate,
Okay.
how they review, how they inspect it. And then you go from there. You find out you don't satisfy what they tell you, and then you can say something. But you cannot come to my office and say, hey, you're taking person. No. There's a rule and
We're
regulations.
simply asking questions.
And then this
And
is,
if you said no,
this
I
is
walked
like-
away, right?
this is-
The
this is
minute you
outrageous.
said
This is
no, I walked
outrageous.
away.
Look, you're the ones following us and arguing with us.
You have 6 guys in a small hallway posted up waiting for us, then we come down and you're right back here telling it like, that's
Yeah,
very
I mean, we actually
guys
were
are-
walking away.
Listen,
So
you guys.
The only people being harassed today
we're
are
not
us.
speaking to you anymore. We're done
I'm
with
not-
this
I'm
conversation.
not-
That's not, that's
So-
I
not
know
fair.
who you are.
Look, guys, the only ones being
I
harassed
think
today
you
are
have been
us.
actually been very kind, so I respect you.
So
I
you
don't
just
respect your
don't-
friend.
you don't-
If you actually go through my social media, you will see me talk about fraud in Minnesota, nothing about the community here.
Don't you know, they review that and then they never find no fraud.
No, you're not looking
You
for-
probably are 100% legitimate then. That doesn't
Then
stop
how
anybody.
you
That doesn't mean
know
others
it's a
aren't.
legit
How you
fraud?
look- the way to look.
I didn't say there was fraud here.
Healthcare is supposed to
We're
be
just
done.
That's
asking
what you're going
questions.
after, right?
Not someone who's knocking.
We're asking
going after
questions.
fraud.
true, but I mean,
We're
you just want to
asking
know
questions
who
of
might
business
be
owners, that's all.
You guys need to be fair. You want to report something,
So
to
did
go
you,
directly
Then you need to
what's
go
going
within
on.
the case.
But
We
you
did.
don't have to just exaggerate the lies
there's no
and just
lie.
create the whole disguise.
Did you see my last video of a very nice
So what do you guys think? Does it look like everything's totally above board here? What do you think, Jay?
Well, first of all, he's wearing a pocketbook, so that's problem number one.
Listen. I don't know about you guys, but if someone arrives in my business and all they do is ask me some questions, and the first thing you do is ambush them with 6 people in a hallway and then follow them out, yelling at them the whole time and screaming at them. You know, this girl, Mahek is, by the way, she is just, just simply asking a couple questions here, like how about some services? How about what's going on here? And this is the result. Just absolutely furious. Why are you spreading lies? Why you spread lies about their community? Like, oh my God, dude. Like, how about you calm down? I'm going to go talk to you tomorrow, dude. Whatever your name is. I'm going to go ask and see what kind of questions we can ask you. This is some amazing stuff here, though. So, this is new video that just came. I'm going to put this, make sure I link this up here in the top for everybody on this space, on the X space. But, this is incredible. These are the kinds of people that are there. Oh, there's nothing wrong here. Well, maybe they can ask him if they've been to the Jubba Center recently. Maybe they've got some answers at the Jubba Center. I mean, this is amazing, right? I mean, this is unbelievable reaction from the Somalian community. And to Mahek, who hasn't said anything. She hasn't said that they stole money. She hasn't said anything at all. She hasn't made any of those claims. But these people, all on TikTok, you talk about Somalian community. Like, oh my goodness, dude, calm down. Like, why are you so defensive?
And they go right to race, Walter, right to the race right away. You're not a white person. You're an Indian. Like, right? You hearing me? Or did you freeze up? Yeah. Yeah.
No,
So
yeah.
right to race right away. It's a red flag. Just answer the questions normally, or just don't get so defensive and get in people's face. And maybe, I don't know. Something's off.
I mean, that's right. I mean, it's like the reaction is what's ridiculous, right? I mean, they're just completely berating her. And it's like, well, I mean, if everything was okay, I'm not sure why I understand this reaction. If everything was perfectly normal here, I don't know. I think it's okay. I think that there's something else is going on here if you're freaking out about this. And like a couple people in the comments here that say, well, I'm not sure if I disagree with her. It's about the Somali community. It is about the Somali community. Listen, what she said is specific to what she said. She said, I didn't say anything about specifically the Somalian community. because she hasn't. She hasn't directly said anything. She's been very careful with the words. But the deal is that obviously the Somalian community is very upset that anybody's asking them questions. That's what's obvious here. So, I mean, you got to love these people. Why are you spreading lies about the community? Like, whoa, you're really defensive. Like, man, maybe you got something else to tell us, man. I think that might be the better way. I mean, maybe you could calm down a little bit. Maybe you wouldn't have these questions floating around if, the Jubba Center and everything else wasn't such a problem. Okay, I got people on the space here want to chime in. What's up, Keymaker? Want to chime in on this?
Yeah, hey Walter. Yeah, I wanted to actually say it's funny that that video, like the clip that you were just playing, it's interesting because a lot of these people, they're not from the United States. They don't really understand how our country works or how the rules and laws and everything are. But what they're doing is completely like legit. That's like how our society functions. The people here have the right and the power to go and knock on a business's door and ask like, hey, what's going on with your business? Right? Like we have that ability here. So I think it's interesting that they were immediately, kind of like defensive. They responded the way that you would expect if you were doing something wrong, So I love it. I think it's great, and I'm glad that you're out there on the ground going to be getting some more footage for us.
Yeah, well, it should be pretty interesting. If this is the kind of stuff that we're expecting, like when we show up to these places and they are just freaking out about this, then I fully expect that this is going to be a shit show. I mean, like every place we go to, if they show up like this, like, oh my God, why are you lying about us? Like, well, hold on now. Okay, I mean, I haven't said anything other than the fact that it's very odd that there's a shell company that exists that has 40 companies that work for it, that none of them do anything. And the CPA that did the audit for it doesn't have a license and has also audited the one out in Minnesota. And you have to have a license in Minnesota to even do that, but they don't have one. So I don't know. I'm just asking some questions here, some basic questions. And I think that it might be a little bit more of a problem in the fact that you're so defensive the moment anyone gets near you, the moment that a girl and her, a couple people with cameras show up, that you just immediately freak out. I don't know. I mean, it just seems like it might be a little off. That's just my theory here. But, maybe everything is above board. But somehow I just doubt it. I mean, I just doubt that this is all normal. But of course, that's what they want to do. They want to pretend as if this is something normal, that this is not happening. Well, it's definitely happening, and more people are going to be showing up to ask you questions. So you got to love it, though. You got to love the reaction. You got to love the obvious, oh my God, how dare you ask the Somalian community? Like, look, you're in our country. We can ask you whatever the hell we want, okay? So stop pretending that we can't. I love it, though. I mean, it's just absurd.
It's not like there haven't been a ton of convictions already in Minnesota.
Right. Yeah, it's not like this isn't new.
Right. So this sounds like what you guys, this isn't like a baseless, just people walking around into Somalian communities. And no, we have reason to do this and to say, this seems to be a problem within your community. And what you should be concerned about, if you're legitimate, is getting rid of the bad actors who are making you look bad. That's
right. You would think that's what people would want. Like, right. if you're a legitimate business, like you say, you're a legitimate Somalian business owner, which I don't know. I'm starting to believe there's not a whole lot of them. Just so we're aware. I'm not sure how many legitimate Somalian business owners there really are, but I don't care if they think that what they think about my opinion on this is. I mean, just all we have to do is show up, apparently, and this is the reaction you get. So, it should be very entertaining to see what these people believe and see what they think they're going to get away with this, because it's not going to go well. And I love that there's some people like, oh, this is all going to go away. Like, oh, yeah, sure. Yeah. This is all the Venezuelan situation is going to completely overblow this. Like, no, I don't think so. Tim Walz dropped out of the race today. This is still the biggest story in the country. OK, this is still the biggest story. It's not going anywhere. And the amount of people that are going to be looking into this fraud is only multiplying. It is not getting smaller. Key, you can chime in whenever, dude.
Yeah, so a lot of the stuff that I've been looking into is trying to see what other states have like some sort of problem similar to this, right? And I think that we're going to find similar ones, not quite with necessarily the same groups, but I think that it's like essentially just start looking at any social programs that are giving money to any states and kind of work your way backwards from there. Because I've already found, like, I know we already knew about the SNAP stuff that was problematic, but I didn't even know that they give out like cash payments till I started looking into it. So I'm starting to look into some situations and talk to some people. It looks like they've been giving out cash payments to like, so they do it like per individual in the family and in the houses, but then they also violate the rules because in order to qualify for the cash assistance, you have to like meet certain standards. It's going to be like one family in one home, or they'll put you up, but it'll be like 15 families in one home receiving food stamps and cash assistance. And it's, I just don't know if people knew that it wasn't just like SNAP alone, but there's actual cash payments that were going out too. So that was one of the ones that I just recently caught. So I'm just looking into like all handout programs that happen, and going like state by state right now. So if I find anything interesting though, I'll definitely send it off to you, So
yeah, for sure. By the way, a couple of people are asking, who this was in the video. This is Mehek Cook. So make sure you guys look up her profile. It's actually shared on my, it's shared on here. We got Chris Marino just joined the show as well. So yeah, that's Mehek Cook, who was part of the show. There was that the video is in that video. She is actually on the ground out here in Ohio, and she lives in Columbus. So she's the one who's been exposing this out here in Ohio. So, this is, hold on a second here. I'm going to remove this. There we go. We got Chris Marino. What's up, Chris? How are you, buddy?
What's going on, man? What's up,
Well,
Jay?
we're talking about the Jubba Center, dude. The Jubba. The Jubba Center, dude. What do you mean? Like, everyone knows what's happening right now. It's Jubba time, man. Like, it really is incredible stuff.
Is this the auditor experts, the grant experts, the refurbished iPhones and iPads, and
computer services, Chris? Computer services
and 2-for-1 DVD.
Yes,
all in one.
All in one place, and they also offer Jubba, whatever the hell that is. They offer Jubba as well. So you got to love the fact that they offer Jubba. I mean, that's my favorite part, that it says Jubba and then Jubba Travel Computer Services. Well, what is Jubba? What exactly does Jubba offer? I don't know. You don't know. No one knows. But, we're going to go find out. So, the Jubba Center should be one of our first locations that we're going to stop at tomorrow. So the Jubba Center is going to be our key location. I think we're going to try and have breakfast at the Jubba Center. Maybe they serve food. Maybe it's a food. I mean, I don't know.
Maybe
Jubba's really a river breakfast in Somalia, by the way. So
they probably serve Jubba.
Yeah. What is Jubba?
I'm going to get some scrambled. It's breakfast. I'm going to get some scrambled Jubba.
Some scrambled Jubba. There we go. I want my Jubba over easy. I mean, that's how I want my Jubba.
Maybe it's like their version of a franchise Pizza Hut, Jubba the Hutt.
Jubba the Hutt. That's it. Jubba the Hutt. That's the deal. I mean, guys, this sort of stuff is so absurd, though. I mean, when you really start going into it, when you start looking at all this stuff, it is obvious to me that there is more going on to every single one of these places. And I agree that really, is there such thing as a legitimate Somalian business? I don't know, but I'm starting to significantly doubt it. I mean, I liked what Trump said the other day. So he put that image out where he's talking about all the different people on welfare programs, right? So he put this image out. He's got all these welfare programs. Now, the Somalians said apparently 72% of the Somalians are on welfare. Now, the problem with that is that the other 28% own a daycare. So, if you got 70% of these people on welfare and then the other 30% have a daycare, the math does not math properly. I mean, I don't understand. How can you own, how many of you are on daycare? How many of you are on welfare? None of this makes any sense. We got some people up here on the stage. Betty, how are you this evening? Betty,
can you hear Walter?
Betty, are you there?
No, Betty. Okay, Nighthawk, go ahead.
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah, there was on the Secret America show with Jack Danger, and it was with Jay. There was one thing that was brought up on the show was about Vivek Ramaswamy. And there has been posts coming around that he's been endorsed by the Somali Chamber of Commerce for governor.
Yeah, I saw that. Now, the problem with that is that I haven't seen actual confirmation of that. I just saw a random Facebook post that someone took a screenshot of. I have no idea if that's accurate or not.
Apparently, Walter, apparently Vivek has taken himself off of his social media accounts. Like he's getting rid of his Instagram and his X. Something came out. We just did it on the show. There's something going on. Yeah. If you look into that too, something's going on. I mean, if I was Vivek and if this endorsement is true, I would distance myself from it as fast as I could, to be honest, but we'll see.
Oh, he's taken, what do you mean he's taken himself off, or he just took
he's not going to be involved, like he's deleting it from his personal phone or something like that along those lines.
Oh, that's interesting. I don't know.
Very, I actually was on the verge of getting him for a space way back before he blew up Monica and I were co-hosting the space, and we were going to get him, and it was that week that he exploded. It was like 2 days before he was supposed to come. And so, of course, he got booked on really big shows and didn't have any time. So, but
Right.
he was directly communicating with us. I mean, like, I have messages.
That's what I'm,
from
you
him.
know, that's what's strange about the whole idea that if he's not running his social medias, that's kind of weird. Because again, that's one of his like why he was actually effective, because he was the one running his social medias and it was looking good. So I don't know. I haven't heard that yet. So I'll have to look into what you just said a little bit further. The idea that he's endorsed by the Somalian community or some nonsense. I mean, like, I don't know. I haven't seen confirmation of that. I saw a random Facebook post, but I'll tell you right now, anybody who gets near this Somalian stuff, it's not going to go well for you. Okay, like you better stand on the side of we don't like anything to do with the Somalian fraudulent stuff. Otherwise, it's just not going to go well. I mean, it doesn't matter who you are. DeWine's useless ass came out today. It's like, oh, there's nothing wrong. I'm like, I friggin' hate this guy. I despise DeWine so much, dude. He is such a loser. He is the worst governor he is the worst Republican governor in the country. I know Chris over here will argue with me that Kemp's worse. I don't agree with you. I think that DeWine is worse. But you know, this is just a long-term thing here. You know, I dislike DeWine. He's never liked me. I've never liked him. And it was after I threw a party in his front yard during COVID that he really didn't like me anymore. So, you know, that's okay though. So, you know, that's all right, because he won't be around much longer. And, you know, then we'll never have to hear from the DeWeasel ever again. So, you know, I'm looking forward to that day. It's going to be a good day.
What's amazing to me, Walter, is how he says, oh, this is the cost of doing business. Wait, what? What are you talking about? What are we talking about? Drugs? Was this breakage? What the hell are you talking about? That this is this stuff is going to happen. That's just unacceptable.
Baby. What do you mean? Like, it's just normal. Everyone knows that you got to account for 70% fraud in your business ventures, guys. What are you talking about? I mean, come on, everything's fine. Like, there's nothing wrong here. Like, I don't know why you're asking questions. Stop asking questions, okay? Like, I mean, that's the real thing here. You better stop
Walter,
asking
I have
questions.
one question for you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because you've met this guy camped out in his front yard, and he's like come out with a broom, like, get off my lawn. How tall is he? He's got to be like 5'3".
Oh, he's a tiny little bastard. He's a short little bastard. I mean, he's a short little useless weasel. I can't wait till the gnome is out of office, dude. It's gonna be great. Okay, I do have hands on the stage here, so people that were trying to chime in, go ahead.
Hey, can I get back in?
Yes, Betty, go ahead.
Thank you. I lost the space and, of course, couldn't find it when you called my name. Please tell me that we are assuming, and maybe perhaps know for sure, that the Somalians did not on their own think up this humongous, massive fraud plan, that there are the kickbacks to the politicians and other folks there in that state and in Ohio as well, and in Maine, and in wherever, Massachusetts. Someone said there was going to be a lot coming out in Massachusetts. Because there is no way that any reputable agency of the state government would let these places exist with the, you can't get in to see them. There's no playground for them. Just the normal things that you would have to pass in order to get licenses. So, I mean, you're probably laughing at me, but I'm sitting here thinking, Amy Klobuchar, the governor, and I'm upset and thinking, if Ron Johnson, who I love very much, who's a Republican and who really fought for everybody on this COVID mess, if he has known about it too, but just has kept quiet, and even worse, if he's taken some of the money or the kickbacks, in some ways, I think there's no hope for the country.
Jacktron, hold on a second. Let Betty finish. I was trying to hear what she said. Go ahead, Betty.
Oh, I'm in the wrong state.
No, you're.
Well, good. Okay, good. Well, Ron's still on my A+ list then. But anyhow, I do think that obviously, Republicans are bad too, uniparty. But I just think in the state of Minnesota, the Democrats have been running that place for a long time. And they did have state workers in those agencies that were supposed to be or that were looking
Well,
at
well,
the,
listen. So, Betty, the reality is that no one was serious at this point. Believes that this has just been done underneath the noses of everybody. That no one knew about it. Like it's too big for that to be the reality. Okay, the amount of money that's involved. Okay, this is what we've been saying for weeks on this show. We've been saying anybody that's actually serious about looking into this knows this. Okay, if you've got a couple $1 million worth of fraud, maybe you can hide it. Okay, maybe you can hide it. Maybe you can keep it from people seeing it. If you got a couple $1 million worth of this, maybe you got something hidden over here. You got a couple $100,000 there, whatever. Maybe you can get away with it. You don't hide hundreds of millions of dollars worth of fraud. Okay, it's too big. It's too big for there are directly people involved with it. And I think personally, now that Tim Walz is out of the race, I'm not going to be surprised if they throw him under the bus. I think they're going to throw him under the bus. I think they're going to completely throw him under the bus. He's going to be the patsy. So we're going to find out. Now, a couple days ago, actually, I asked the question to people on the show. I said, what do you think? Is Tim Walz actually an idiot? Or is he just like a capo at the top of the food chain? He is actually dangerous. I mean, like you did have the assassin out there in Minnesota that took out the two lawmakers, and the assassin said that Tim Walz told him to do it. So the question was, is Tim Walz actually stupid, or is he like dangerous and actually at the top of this food chain? And we're gonna find out. Because I guarantee right now, if this fraud stuff keeps going, what they're really going to do is they're going to start going after Tim Walz, and they're going to start throwing him under the bus. And if Tim Walz has a lot to say, then you'll see what they do. Now, I've actually heard a couple people say that it's possible what they will do with Tim Walz is instead of actually throwing him under the bus, what they might do with him is they say, okay, you withdraw. We're going to move your VP or whatever, the lieutenant governor into the governorship. We're going to make Amy Klobuchar pull her out of the Senate, and then they appoint Tim Walz. If they do that,
I hope they do it. I hope they do it.
No, I do too. I hope they do. It would just be absurd. It would just be absurd if they did.
And Walter, I just it says Vivek Ramaswamy effectively gave up his personal control of the social media accounts today. He published a Wall Street Journal op-ed announcing he deleted X and Instagram apps from his phone on New Year's Eve and is personally swearing off the platforms. He cited how they distort public concerns and expose users to excessive negativity, including slurs and backlash, partly tied to recent controversies like his comments on American culture and H-1Bs. However, his campaign team will continue managing his accounts, blah, blah, blah.
And does Vivek want me to run against him? Like, is that what I'm hearing here? Like, I mean, at this point, like he's at this point, it's starting to get to the point that I'm going to start supporting Casey. Now, the funny thing about that is I've got people that have already been trying to get me to support Casey. And now the only reason I didn't actually come out directly in support of Casey Pusek when I heard about it at first is because one, Vivek's a billionaire. Two, Vivek's already got the endorsement of everybody from the administration. Okay. Three, the problem is that Casey has already said some things that I think are very difficult to be able to overcome on the top of getting moderates to vote for him, which you do need moderates in Ohio. You have to have some moderates vote for you. But maybe that's not necessarily big deal because Vivek has gone from being rock star to, I mean, what is this? I mean, you're going to drop completely from using your social medias and you're going to be completely inauthentic and let other people do it for you? I'm not sure that's going to work out. Especially in the conservative side, like that's not going to, people aren't going to be happy about that. And if he's complaining about slurs and crap like that online, that's going to go even worse for him. So I don't know. It sounds like Vivek is trying to make a bid to make me support his primary challenger at this point. I'm not sure what's happening here.
Yeah, that's weird because I mean, he actually is pretty savvy on social media. And
that's what I thought. That's what I thought. I mean, like I thought he was really good with social media, and it appears that he is not doing very well with it. So I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, I mean, it could also be that, as a candidate, I don't know. I mean, in today's world, I would think he would hold his accounts and just have a staffer post whatever he wants, because that's what Trump does, right? Like Trump has his personal account, everybody knows that account, and he literally tells whoever to type whatever he says, and they do it. You know what I mean? So he's not like actually texting or tweeting. Yeah, but that's
things, because Trump is 1,000 years old, and Trump likes to read things like a dinosaur. I mean, like if you guys have heard the story, right? I've got a friend of mine who was like a caddy at the Trump golf course. Trump has a freaking like a train of fax machines following him around. Like it's not even a joke. Like he actually does. He drives around. He's got 4 golf courts with the fax machines, and people fax him shit when they want him to read it. Like what? I mean, but he's 80 years old. I mean, that's just what he does. Like he's Trump. He's one of the only people that can get away with shit like that. But like but he still posts everything on his own. Like he's got one person that just does everything for him. I mean, this is Trump though. Like Vivek is not 80. Okay, Vivek doesn't have this problem. So I don't know what he's doing here. Like this doesn't sound like a good decision on Vivek's part. So again, we've got primary season up, and if Vivek is going to start failing at being in the primary, then maybe Casey Pushek actually has a chance. I don't know though. The problem that I again would have with Casey is that the Trump administration can support and actually be able to really amp him up, especially because him and Vivek and JD Vance are friends, close friends. So you've got a scenario where the candidate is supported by the administration. Would this other guy get supported by the administration to the same level that Vivek would? I don't know. And the deal is we can't lose Ohio. So whoever's the best candidate to win needs to make that case very strongly now.
Well, he's definitely stepping on a rake here.
Yeah,
that's my favorite term. He is. And if Trump's getting it from fax machine, does that mean that Chuck from Ravens? They send the Ravens?
Yes. Yeah. They send it by carrier pigeon. So he gets them delivered by hand. The pigeon lands in his office and he has to read that directly. You're right. Yeah, that's how that happens there. That is well known. His own pigeon is named Martha. Okay, now let's see here. We got a couple different hands on the show here. We've got a couple new speakers here. What is up, Hope?
Hey, thanks for the mic. I'm in Indiana. I just wanted to let you guys know from the Midwest that most people I talk to from Ohio do not support Vivek. They are not big fans. And I can say that here in Indiana, one of the biggest issues that we absolutely cannot stand is our children going to school at Purdue University, University of Indiana, USI, whatever college it is. Here in Indiana, when these kids are graduating, they are not getting jobs at the university, but instead we're getting H-1Bs. And I would say that the trust with Hoosiers in the government, is incomparable to how much Ohio doesn't trust their government, because not only do they have the second highest population in Somalis, let's not forget that they also have tens of thousands of Haitians there. So I don't think that they're very happy, and I do not see Vivek really having a chance with the people. I don't think there's anything that could come out of his mouth that could possibly get him elected, in my opinion, because of what I'm seeing here on the ground. I don't see any approval rating.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. So the H-1B conversation in Ohio is kind of a non-starter. A lot of people like to focus on it, but there's less than like 5,000 H-1Bs in the entire state of Ohio. In a job market of 5 million, there's less than 5,000, I think, total. So it's not like, I know people like to talk about H-1Bs, but H-1Bs is not a major issue in Ohio. It never has been. You can argue.
Walter,
go ahead.
No, then why did Vivek make that like his statement
I don't know
as
what
to
Vivek
why
is
he's
doing with the H-1B stuff. That was something that came out last year, and he has not been very good. But I know a lot of people who do like Vivek. Okay, so I am in here, Ohio, guys. I talk to people all the time. I'll tell you right now, Vivek is popular with people. They like him because, and the reason that do like him is because he shows up everywhere. Now, what I've been saying about the Vivek, the reason that I thought he was going to win in the first place is because the guy works his ass off. He shows up everywhere. He's been to all 88 counties already. He's been working his ass off for a year plus getting into this campaign. The problem with Pushek, and the real reason I have an issue with him in the first place, is because he just started. Okay, you don't start a governor's race 6 months before the primary and think you're going to win a general. That's the issue I have with it. Chris, you already know this as somebody who's worked campaigns before. The legwork to build a full working coalition to win an election starts well before 6 months before the primary. You don't just decide to hop into a race and think you're going to win. That's the reason I wasn't supporting Casey in the first place. You have to have the infrastructure in place beforehand. You have to have done the legwork beforehand, or you have to be incredibly rich. That's your two options, which Casey Pushek is not incredibly rich. He may be somewhat wealthy, but he is not Vivek wealthy. Vivek is a billionaire. Okay, there's a big difference. You've got a billionaire who has been on the ground every single different county, working his ass off. People can claim that this isn't happening, but the guy is everywhere. Okay, Vivek has been all sorts of places. I've seen a bunch of his events. I don't know, okay? But I will say that this strange move by the social media side, he's been making some missteps recently. I will say that. He has definitely made some missteps. I'm not sure I really agree with some of the stuff he's doing here recently, but to me, everybody is well aware that my position is very simple. Who can win? That is it. I don't give a shit anything else. Emotional appeal, heritage appeal, none of that shit matters to me. Can you win the election? That's all that matters to me. And if you can't, then shut the fuck up. That's it. I mean, there's no questions about it to me. If you can't win, I don't want to talk to you. Okay? Because if you go into the race and you show up and you start the primary, say Casey wins, the Casey Pusick wins the primary, okay? He wins the primary, but then he doesn't have any money. And then he doesn't have any support. And then he doesn't have anything going into the election, going against the Democrats. The Democrats will dump $100 million, drop it into whoever it is, Amy Acton's campaign. They'll drop $100 million. They'll run ads from spring to November and they'll win. Okay? You can't do that. All right? You cannot have somebody that can outspend you 3-1. You can't have somebody that'll do that. I love that people bring up Trump in this scenario. You're not Trump. Okay? You're not. You don't have name idea close to that of Jesus. Okay? Like if you're Trump, everybody that has ever existed knows who you are, okay? Most people have no idea and have never heard of who Casey Pusick is. Most people have never heard of Vivek either, okay? Like, that's just reality. Most people have no clue who either of these people are. And the only reason Vivek has any name recognition whatsoever is because of what he did during the presidential elections. So that's still not enough, okay? You're not Trump. You're not going to be able to be outspent 3-1 and people still have enough people that know who you are. Okay. That's not going to work. You're going to need somebody that can be on the ground and spend an equivalent to the Democrats. And if Casey can't do that, then I don't want him to run. And if Vivek is going to screw around and not be able to do that, then I don't want him to run either. Like, we just need the best candidate. Okay. And I do like primaries. I do agree with that. I think primaries are very important. I think that primaries is the number one time that we need to pay attention the most. We need to get the most people involved, the most people like to actually on the ground. But to me, at the end of the day, all that matters to me is who wins. Okay. At the end of the day, you can hate Vivek, you can despise him, but the Democrats have a COVID czar that is a lunatic. Okay. Like, these are your options. Okay. And I'm not saying pick the best of both worlds. I'm saying one side wants us dead and the other side does not. So you make your choice, but I'm going to pick whichever candidate is going to win the race. That's what matters to me the more than anything. So I don't know if Casey actually has any chance in this primary or not. I have no idea. People have been reaching out to me, trying to get me to talk to this guy for a while now. I don't know. I'll talk to anybody. I've got no problem talking to him, but I want to know how you actually have a real path of victory. And if you don't have a path of victory, then I don't have time for you. That's just the reality of it. Okay. I got other people with hands up here. Go ahead, Santron, and then we're going to go to Keymaker, and then we'll go around.
Yeah, so no, you were asking the questions about if Tim Walz is just stupid or evil, and my honest opinion is I think it's both. I think that stupid people are the most dangerous people in the world, to be honest. People who do not know the limits of their own intelligence. People just like Tim Walz.
Stupid and evil. What a great combination. I do love it. It is fantastic. Okay, Keymaker, go ahead.
Yeah, I'd like to just, piggyback on what Santron just said, because I've actually been talking about this just recently. I think that, we say it jokingly, it is kind of funny, but I think that some of these people, and Tim Walz is probably one of them, you can't really tell if he's just a complete moron or if he's nefarious in the behaviors that he's doing. But essentially, the damage of somebody like that, it doesn't matter whether he knows he's doing it or whether he's complicit in doing it. They're still damaging to society. And we have a lot of that in leadership all over the place when it comes to governance, right? Like when it comes to government, because in a private company, it's very hard to be an idiot and maintain a job at a private company that has profits that back you, stuff like that. But, with Tim Walz, it's turning out to be that I really think that he's an idiot, right? Like I know some people say it might be that he knew what was going on. So I know you mentioned it earlier too. Either he's like, either he's the capo and nobody really knows, or he's an idiot. I'm leaning towards he's an idiot, because he's probably going to go to prison for what happened. Because when you are a governor of a state and you have a fiduciary responsibility to spend federal money correctly, if you are so dumb that you allow people to steal that much money and all the way up the chain, and then people were even whistleblowing. There are whistleblowers out there saying, hey, we kept telling the government, we kept telling the state government, this is what's going on, we have to look into this fraud, and they didn't do anything about it. The one thing that always happens in government is they are free from penalty until they are not. And I have watched people with that fiduciary responsibility get handcuffed and go to jail because they thought that they just didn't have to even worry about it. And some of them were actually just they were naive. They didn't know that the penalty could happen to them. And I'm thinking that that's what Tim Walz is, because it looks like he's going to be getting federally charged really soon. And people didn't think it was going to happen, but I think that we're going to be hearing about that, probably within the next month or so.
I hope so. Listen to me. Like, I've been seeing a bunch of people talk about this now that he's been dropped out of the race. Again, to the point that everyone's making, though, whether or not he is stupid or he's dangerous or he's bad or evil or incompetent, none of that really matters at the end of the day. The question is anything going to happen to him? If something does happen to him, if they throw him under the bus, which they very well could, the Democrats don't give a shit. Oh, nope, he's a liability. Get him out of here. That right there, when that happens, that's when you'll be able to determine if he's actually dangerous or whatnot, if he actually knows a lot. Because if he does know a lot, then he can start spilling the beans. I mean, he can start telling all sorts of stuff. He can start exposing a whole bunch of stuff. And that's going to be the question. Is he a patsy or is he actually stupid? We don't know. We don't know any of that. But I'll tell you right now, no one is crying over the demise of Tim Walz. Okay, no one's upset about this. I don't think it's really a problem. I think he might just act stupid. Maybe he does. Maybe he doesn't. I don't know. But we'll find out here very shortly is what my point is. The answer to those questions are going to be answered very, very shortly. Okay, got another speaker here. What's up, Danielle? Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, so let's just double back really quick on Ohio. So I was just kind of looking through campaign finance reports real quick here. Casey, is it Fooch? Is that how you pronounce his last name?
I have no idea. I think it's Push, something like that. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how to say his name. But this is kind of a problem because no one knows. Literally no one knows, which is a problem. Okay, I mean that's kind of an issue.
Not one of the greatest names for campaigns, but the point is that he has not filed. He's only filed a declaration of treasurer in December, so we don't know what he has cash on hand. What I do know is that Vivek Ramaswamy, in his last filing in July, the semi-annual filing, had raised $9,698,156.47, and his cash on hand is $7.4 million. So he's been on the ground. Not only that, but he's been on the ground for at this point, I would venture to say 2 years.
He's been running for governor since he left the administration, essentially. Which is what my point is. Like, this is the issue. Like, he has been doing the work for a while now, which is why I'm telling you people, like, it's going to be difficult for me to get behind anybody new when we've already got a guy that's done the work.
And that matters. Okay. Like, so I was, when you're talking about governor's races, Virginia, what we saw in Virginia is a little different, right? First off, I don't think they got off the ground soon enough in Virginia, which cost them, but in the Midwest, in competitive races, you have to be on the ground in competitive states for more than a year before the election. Coming in 6 months before a primary, with a guy who's got $7.5 million on cash on hand and massive name ID is not a good proposition. He also has the endorsement, obviously, of Vice President Vance and Elon Musk. So I believe I'm looking right now, 2 hours ago, latest update, and it does sound like there is going to be some sort of special announcement and event in Cleveland with Elon Musk at some point here in the near future. So
see this is the problem. I mean, like, this is what my point is with this new guy. It's like, look, dude, do you have a chance? I don't know if you have a chance, but let me tell you right now, you've got the full administration weight behind Vivek, okay? And Vivek and JD Vance are close friends. Now, regardless of what anybody says, JD Vance is the most popular politician in Ohio by like a wide margin, like a huge margin. He's a folk hero here, essentially, to people, okay? So everybody loves JD Vance in this state, okay? It's not even close. Like, it really isn't even close. No one is even remotely similar to how popular JD Vance is in Ohio. Everybody loves this guy. And Vivek and him are friends. So if he's going to be on the ground campaigning with him, if Casey is not going to have that, that puts it at a significant disadvantage going into the midterm. Like, I mean, it just does. It just puts us in a disadvantage. I don't know if it's a smart decision, but again, I think the bigger part to me is that you started 6 months, like you just started a month ago. Like, dude, who are you? And I'm sorry, I just don't think you have a chance. I don't think you have a chance in hell to be able to win. But maybe he can convince me otherwise. I doubt it. I've had a lot of conversations with politicians. My worry is we get into a scenario where we like, I don't want to repeat Virginia. Okay, Virginia. When we got in the Virginia race, I got brought in late. Okay, I got brought in July, and I tried to get a campaign up off the ground. And we started making progress, but the problem is making progress, and then it didn't matter because they had already run ads for 3 months. Okay, like they had already run $30 million worth of ads. What do you do with that? I mean, like that's what I worry, right? Like, even if Pusich can make a dent, even if Casey can make a dent, okay, are you going to have ads to spend from spring to November? Because if you're not, the Democrats will kill you. They don't care. The Democrats, they don't care. I've said this before on the show. Okay. The Democrats could run a goldfish and win elections. Okay. It doesn't matter to them. They don't care who their candidate is. It's completely irrelevant who their candidate is. It can be a goldfish. It can be a Cheeto. It can be, it can be anything. Okay. It does not matter. It can be an inanimate object that doesn't speak, and it will still win elections because they have a full ground game that operates. They have a full ad spend that operates, and it marches forward from spring until November, and it does not stop. Okay. And if you can't keep up with that and you've got to build things in the midterm, like I don't have time for that. I'm sorry, I just don't. And that's the reason that I'm saying Vivek to me makes more sense, because Vivek, one, he has $1 billion. Okay. What are you going to do? He can just dump money into it if he has to. Okay. Like he can self-fund his whole campaign if he had to. The idea of a self-funder as a Republican candidate now is almost very important. Like, I mean, it really is. If you want to look at the difference, okay, look at what happened in Virginia. Okay. When Glenn Youngkin ran, go look at the spending dollars, almost 1-to-1, and they won. And he did. He managed to win that race. It was a 1-to-1 spend ratio. They won the race. Go look at what happened with Sears, 3-to-1. Okay, Spanberger's outspent her 3-to-1. That was reality. I mean, I'm sorry, 3-to-1 on the spend, and everyone's like, oh, well, that doesn't really matter. Like, yes, it does. Okay, like I know people like to believe that the internet is all that matters. Now it's not. Okay, it just isn't. Okay, the internet isn't the only place that you need to get voters from, and you still have to have ad spend on TV. People still need to see you on television. It's still important. There's still a ton of voters that don't use the internet on a regular basis. They don't get their ads from the internet on the regular basis. There's a ton of people that still rely on regular television to see everything. They still go home at night and they still cut on the TV. That is still normal. Okay, most of the people that I know that are in the Midwest, most of the guys that I worked with for years and years and years, the blue collar guys, they don't come home and go sit on X all night. They don't give a shit about X. That doesn't mean anything. They don't even have it. Most of them are on Facebook if they're on anything at all. But I mean, again, you've still got to get through to these people, okay? And you have to be able to spend the money to do it. And that's my biggest worry is the money is the most important aspect of this, which is where we're headed to now. So
I think part of the problem with, internet campaigns, right, is that I think in today's world, people think that you can tweet yourself or social media yourself to a governor's race, to a governorship, or to a United States senator's seat, or to Congress, or to the presidency, right? And the reality is I'm going to give free advice here, which I don't always do, but I'm going to give free advice one time only. Write it down. There are 3 things that win elections: money, lists, votes. You can have all the money in the world, but if you don't have the grass tops list, you don't have the infrastructure, and you just blow it on TV or whatever, you have a shot because money always puts you in the game. But grass tops lists, these bean feeds and chili fests and all of these things, these little speeches he's been giving in every county in Ohio for the last 1.5 2 years, those things matter. Endorsements matter. That's part of the list. And those translate to votes. And so I just don't see... there are people that are MAGA, Team Trump, and bless your heart, you have every right to endorse or support whoever you want. But let's just nix a couple of things here. First off, Vivek Ramaswamy is American. He was born in Ohio. Okay, this notion that he's not American, he was born in Ohio. Okay, JD Vance, Vice President Vance, this is like his best friend. So let's be very clear here. First and foremost, all right. Second of all, the administration has got behind him, and it's no knock to this Casey guy. I don't know him. I know a lot of people on behind the scenes on the internet are trying to push people to support him. But the reality is we don't have time to play games. I believe primaries are healthy. I do not believe primaries are healthy in an important seat like Ohio, which is a Rust Belt that we must win the governorship for so that we can win in 2028 for Vice President Vance or Marco Rubio or whoever is running on the Republican ticket in the end, right? So I don't personally feel like a primary in Ohio is a good thing. I feel like people should be rallying behind somebody. Vivek's already given him, he's loaned his campaign $250,000. That's $250,000 to date, that more than what we know Casey has on hand. Maybe Casey does have more than that. There's no filing to show that so far, right? So that's how I look at things. And I look at that because I have spent 2, 3, 4 years on a governor's race before, building the infrastructure, going to all of these things, going to every county 3 times. That's a grind. And in a Midwest state like Ohio, they expect that. Okay. And so that's kind of my point. When I'm looking on the outside here, I don't know Casey guy, no knock to him on a personal level. But if you were going to get in this race, you had to, first of all, be able to self-fund some of that. And second of all, you should have been off the ground a year ago.
Yeah. That's a big deal. Go ahead, Jay.
No, where did this story? It's really funny how this story about the Somalian endorsement, this comes now. Really funny, isn't it?
Well, I mean, that's kind of what my point is, right? I mean, which is what my point is about this. Like, I don't know who this, like, again, the Somali endorsement thing. The only place that I saw that was a random Facebook screenshot. Okay. I haven't seen it on any of Vivek's personal stuff. I haven't seen him share it personally. For all we know, it's just some dude who took a photo with him and then they added that stuff on there. I don't know. Okay. I don't know. And I don't think that Vivek is a stupid enough candidate to step in the middle of the Somali crap right now. Like, I don't think he is. I don't think he's dumb enough to do that. Maybe he's made mistakes in a couple other things that he's done. But again, I don't see him intentionally going out and getting the Somalian commerce, whatever the hell it is, department endorsement. I don't see him doing that. Why would he do that? What purpose would that serve him? The Somalians are not going to support him anyway. The only people the Somalis are going to support is whoever's giving them more fraud. And I mean, apparently that's all that matters. Right. You just need to be, more fraud for them, and that's how they vote for you. But again, all of that stuff doesn't really matter, because at the end of the day, what we're talking about here is who can win the general election. And the question is, can Casey win a general election? I don't think so. I mean, he doesn't have the infrastructure, and you can't build the infrastructure in 6 months. It's not possible unless you have some sort of groundswell that is just like, you're a household name already in Ohio. You're a household name to the point that everybody knows who you are. Everybody loves you already. And then you've decided to step into politics and you already have like a fan base. Okay. This guy doesn't have a fan base in Ohio. And I know that the guys are pushing this guy and they act like he's got some sort of fan base. Like, that's not an Ohio movement, guys. Okay. Like, I have never met a single person that knows who Casey Puchet is in Ohio. I've never met, no one has ever heard of this guy. I'm out here on the ground every day. I don't know who this is. No one knows who this is. And that's kind of the problem. Okay. If you think you're going to step into a primary and do this, my worry, and the reason I came out against him so quickly, is because I look at it and say, well, if you guys attack him now, attack Vivek on these certain issues, try to dissuade people, and this is why I got mad about the H-1B issue. Like, the H-1B issue, again, isn't an issue in Ohio, okay? There's less than 5,000 people that are on H-1B visas. And you can say, sure, maybe none of them should be there. Sure. But again, 5,000 out of 5 million is not a lot. Okay, it just isn't. This is not California. We don't have a huge tech sector that has a couple 100,000 H-1Bs in it, guys. It's just not true. Okay, and it doesn't exist here. It is not something that has existed here. And even if your argument is that there's going to be a bunch of tech sector that comes into Ohio, they would also have to be part of the 2020 thing, the new executive order that Trump signed already. Okay, which would mean that $100,000 per H-1B. It doesn't make sense. It gets people all riled up and gets people to talk about it. But again, it's not going to work. I mean, I don't think it's necessary, because the reality is that the jobs that people want in Ohio, the jobs that we are really upset about, is the fact that we've lost all of our manufacturing. Ohio used to be a huge manufacturing state. We lost all our manufacturing. We shipped it out of seas. That's not H-1Bs. That is us in D.C. shipping out our manufacturing and making it offshore. That's a D.C. decision. That's not an Ohio decision. Further than that, the H-1Bs, that's also a federal decision. That's federal policy. The governor can't change the H-1B visa policy. That is a federal policy. Okay, so again, I don't know. Casey came into this race, and he obviously had a bunch of people that were pushing him just to start, but I don't see it as possible. I don't see it as possible for many of the reasons that Chris has already mentioned here, but the infrastructure being the number one among them. But anyway, guys, we are running out of time here because we were supposed to only go for an hour. I wanted to make sure we were on here for a little bit this evening because we wanted to talk about some of the Somali fraud stuff that we're going to be doing over the next couple days, guys. There's going to be this show. Jay is going to be joining me in person in here tomorrow, so we'll actually have the show live here tomorrow night, 9 p.m. We're going to be here. We're going to be covering a lot of the stuff that we're doing. So make sure you guys turn notifications on for my X account. So that's at WC Dispatch. If you guys turn notifications on, there'll be a lot of stuff coming out over the next couple days. There's a whole team on the ground out here in Ohio. We're going to get some stuff done. There's going to be a lot more investigation into these businesses that we've been talking about, the Somali fraud investigation. And we're going to go see what Jubba is up to. Because the Jubba is, I don't know. I just need my tax services done by Jubba. So, that's what we're going to be looking at, guys. Any final word from the guys on the panel here? Anything else, guys?
Yeah,
go ahead, Chris.
I was gonna say, it looks like Bongino is now fully back, and he's going to full war with, the grifters in the movement, and then we finally have a primary opponent Trump endorsed against Thomas Massey.
Oh, that's good. That's exciting. I can't wait for Massey's. I can't despise. I despise Thomas Massey. Everybody knows that. Thomas Massey is the most useless congressman that has ever existed. He has never passed anything useful.
Why is he starting to look like somebody from 1792? What the hell is going on with Thomas Massey? Did you see him recently? He's starting to look like James Madison or something. It's bizarre.
The guy that is running against him is a Navy SEAL, retired Navy SEAL.
Whatever. Listen, no one cares about Thomas Massey. This guy's more than I've never seen him cheer for anything ever. Okay, like he never cheers for America. The moment that we took majority, he's like, "Oh my God, this was unconstitutional." Shut the fuck up, Thomas. God Almighty, you're so annoying. He's like, "Why didn't you consult Congress? Why? So you could complain about it? You useless twit." I mean, it just drives me nuts, dude. I cannot stand this guy. I can't wait till he's gone. Okay, Keymaker, go ahead, and then we're gonna get to the two guys on the live, and then we can get out for the evening.
Yeah, so I just wanted to say you were touching on the H-1Bs a little bit with Vivek, and I know you know this, Walter, but I think they've added like a $100,000 like penalty essentially.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. And this is the way you phase it out, and this is the way I'll explain it briefly for people. The people that want you to cancel all the H-1Bs tomorrow, guys, are you nuts? Like, do you want all of our tech sector to go out of business? And you can complain and say that it's not a good thing that they hired all these people. That's true. You can do that. And that's true. They shouldn't have. They shouldn't have been undercutting American workers. But you can't, it's not better for American workers to put those companies out of business. Okay, that doesn't help anybody. It doesn't help our economy. That doesn't help those businesses. It doesn't give Americans jobs. All it does is tax tech companies and put them out of business. Why would you want to do that? Like, you don't want to put them out of business, and you can't retroactively charge them $100,000 per H-1B employee. That doesn't work either. Like, that would immediately bankrupt those companies. If they've got 10,000 H-1B employees and you charge $100,000 per, one, that probably wouldn't hold up in court. They would get that challenge saying that we were following the previous regulations. That's one side of it. But the other side of it is you would just bankrupt those companies. Okay. Like, it's much better to do it the way they've done it now, which is the loophole is closed. And now all those people, what I think they should do, I think they could add to it a little bit. They should reduce the H-1B by 10% every year until we get to a point that it's okay. That I think would be better, because if they truly need these employees, if they truly need like really high skilled workers that they can't find anywhere else, they're not going to care if they have to pay the $100,000. That's the point. What they need to get rid of is the using the H-1Bs to undercut other American workers. That should not be done. Okay, you shouldn't be able to hire someone at $40,000 and it's because you would be able to hire an American at $70,000. That's not what the system is for. Okay, that's not what it's for. An H-1B system is supposed to be for the best of the best, the employees that you can't find anywhere else, that you need to recruit to bring in. That shouldn't be a problem if you're charging that extra $100,000. That shouldn't change that issue. And I think that's the best way to do it, which is why the Trump administration did it that way.
Yeah, and I think you made a good point, though, right? So the governor has nothing to do with that. Your state reps have nothing to do with that. But your senator and congressman may be able to go on the federal side and argue this. The federal.
That's right.
The federal state representatives that come here to Washington, maybe they can go in and get a bill passed and then help you out. But I think it's interesting that people do mix things up a lot. Sometimes, like, it's not everybody, but I think some people get confused as to what power, who has, where at, so I just wanted to point that out, that if they do have a problem with it, your governor is not going to help you fix it. Right?
Exactly. Exactly. That's exactly what my point is. Like, I mean, it's like, if you're running on these issues, these are federal issues. Maybe you should run for Senate, not governor, dude. Sorry. Okay. Chris, Jay, you got anything else to say to him before we end out here?
Yeah. So, just a quick point of rundown here. So right now, Emerson polling is the most recent one in December. I'm not a super fan of Emerson's polling, but I will say, it's basically in neck and neck with Acton and Ramaswamy. In the Republican primary, as of October, Ramaswamy had a 76% of the support in the Republican primary. These are levels that Donald Trump had against DeSantis and everybody else that thought that they were going to try to compete with Trump in a primary, right? So what does this tell me? What this tells me is the guy can't win. Okay. The guy is not going to be able to win. And barring a miracle, I never say never in politics, but barring a miracle, he's not going to win. The other couple of just interesting points that I saw, again, obviously California, I don't think is a winnable state in any way, shape, or form. What is interesting is that it does look like Katie Porter is, according to some recent polling in December.
Porker or Porter?
Porker.
Okay.
I actually had to look up.
Get out of my shot. You're in my shot.
But it does show that Hilton is actually outperforming her and Swalwell, and Bianco is at 13. So it could be in this open primary in California that the final two are Bianco and Hilton, who is basically an independent. And if that's the case, then that would be an interesting race over there in California.
Is the Hilton related in any way to the Hiltons? Like, or is
No,
this
I
some random person?
think this guy is
Steve Hilton. He's on Fox.
Yeah, he's on Fox.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Fox. Yeah. Couple other points. President Trump's by the way, this is all realclearpolling.com. President Trump's job approval rating, according to them, is at 43.9%, which still historically is better than Obama and Bush and Clinton at this point in their presidency, right? So his base, this notion that President Trump's base is just like left because of whatever fill in the blank bullcrap on social media is just false. His base is not leaving, they're staying. And so that's just not true. The Republican Party favorability rating is down 14 points. However, the Democratic Party's favorability rating is down 23.7. So,
yeah, I mean, listen, the Democrats are they're not doing better. Like, everyone's like, oh my God, Trump's approval rating's collapsing. It's like, it's been pretty stable. I mean, it really hasn't been very bad recently. Like, it's been about the same for a while now. 43, 44, something like that is where it's been floating around. So I'm not really concerned about that. Everyone's screaming, oh my God, Venezuela this, Venezuela that. Like, guys, we grabbed Maduro in the middle of the night and didn't lose a single soldier. That was pretty damn impressive. I don't know why people are upset about it. But anyway, guys, go ahead.
Anyway,
and you get anything else?
That was my point. I wanted to make sure people understood where we sit in the month of December coming in. Again, this is all about different polling. I'm not a huge fan of the polling sector right now, with when it factors in kind of today's climate. But again, it does show in Ohio's governor's race that right now, this is not even a competition as it comes to the Republican primary. The general is going to be tight, and that's why I think what we see right now happening, it could be potentially a distraction. It could also lead Ramaswamy to double up on his haul. I mean, 9 million in 6 months, 5 months is a pretty good fundraising haul.
Yeah, I mean, he's doing pretty good on fundraising. He's doing really good on fundraising. But again, the point is with Vivek is that he can self-fund. I mean, like, that's the biggest deal. He can self-fund. He can put money into this race on his own. And my biggest thing is, again, money, money, money. Okay, money is the lifeblood of politics. There is what you need to win. And if you want to run against the Democrat machine is very well funded. Okay, and that's what my biggest point is for everybody on this. Jay, any final thoughts? And we're going to get out of here for the night.
Yep, real quick. If there was a neutral media, Trump's approval rating would be 65%, number one, in my opinion. And this Ramaswamy thing, and the point is this: whoever is the Republican, it'll probably be him. You have to vote for the Republican. Swallow hard, hold your nose, and that goes for every race in the midterms, because we don't have an American opposition party. You can't. You might feel good for 2 seconds if you say they didn't do this, they didn't get people elected for 5 minutes. When you stick it to them and don't vote, you're not going to like it after. So just please, whoever it is, as a Republican, if it's Don freaking Bacon, get out and vote for him, because that's just what it comes down to. We can't lose to the Democrats because they're not Americans. They're communists, and they'll destroy us. Like you say,
that's right.
They hate us.
They do hate us. I mean, if you really want to see what the result of this would be, go watch the most recent speech from our communist mayor in New York City, who announced that we are going to bathe in the warmth of collectivism. Wonderful. Oh my God. This is a real person that is a real mayor in New York City. He is saying, let us bathe in the warmth of communism. Like, wonderful.
The people around him are even worse than he. That's the problem.
I know
the people around him are even worse. The one, I don't know if you heard it yet. We'll probably talk about it tomorrow if you want, with the girl who's I forget what her title is. She's talking about how forget about your relationship with private property. That's over.
It's
wonderful.
The director of tenant rights, I think.
Yeah,
is her position, and
Jesus.
She is, yeah. I mean, she's a very pale white female who believes that home ownership is white supremacy.
Of course she is. Why am I not surprised? Well, we'll get into this stuff tomorrow. Guys, thank you guys for being here tonight. This is the Political Theater. Make sure you guys follow my co-host here. I've got Chris Marino here and Jay Gatling both here on X. You guys, make sure you guys follow us on X. If you guys want to subscribe to this show, make sure you guys go to WCDispatch.com. The best way you can support the show is become a premium subscriber. It's only $5 a month, guys. We've got a lot of stuff that's going to be coming out over the next couple days. Obviously, if we're on the ground out here in Ohio, so there's going to be some interesting stuff coming out. Make sure you guys follow these pages. Make sure you turn notifications on for the X account. So at WC Dispatch, turn notifications on. We got a bunch of stuff coming out here in this week, so you're not going to want to miss it, guys. We will see you tomorrow night, 9 p.m. for more of the theater. Thanks, guys. We'll see you tomorrow.
Some folks are born with a liberty spark. Their hearts beat red, white, and blue. When the anchors sneer and the cameras bark, they turn the lens right back at you. Truth bound, ain't for sale, ain't for sale. We're not the party line sons, no, it ain't for sale, ain't for sale. We're the vigilant ones, so. Some folks inherit silk-lined halls, spend our sweat while preaching share. But when the tax man wraps his knuckles raw, their mansions suddenly look bare, impaired. Ain't for sale, ain't for sale. We're not their banker-raised heirs, no. Ain't for sale, ain't for sale. We're the vigilant ones, so. Yeah, some paint stars on press room lies and send the common men to toil. Ask them, how much truth will you trade tonight? They mutter, more noise, more noise, more noise. Ain't for sale, ain't for sale. Not the theater's pawns, friend. It ain't for sale, ain't for sale. We're America's steadfast one. No, we won't be spun.